那今天我们很荣幸请来了一个重量级的嘉宾，他是特别从美国过来为我们做一个演讲。他是博大大桥全球的主席。So please welcome Mr. Howard Draft, Chairman, Executive Chairman of Draftfcb. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wu, and the ROI Festival for asking me to join you this year again. As you all know, I love coming to China because it gives me a chance to see consumers who are fully open and engaged in brands and in markets, which is very exciting to all of us. With the festival celebrates return on investments, as you all know, that is very near and dear to my heart. And marketers and agencies that make up our industry know how important that is. For those of you who know me, I've built my career in every agency I've ever run on the foundation of return on investments and creativity. I clearly believe in the power, and I'm excited that all of you do as well. In a few minutes, I'll be joined by Puli Chow, head of our office here in Greater China, and media experts to talk about the challenges and the opportunities of working in this incredibly challenging market. But first, for a couple of minutes, I've been asked to read a few tea leaves about the industry, where we are headed, and what we can do to prepare for it. I believe first is the talent imperative. For all of us, the key will always be to find the right talent. People who see marketing world as an ever-evolving intersection of consumers, creative, media, and technology. People who thrive in navigating it quickly and well. Key word, quickly. People who can anticipate change and are willing to be and are eager to be embraced and involved in change. I see the agency of the future as one that will cast differently than how we operate today. As you look to evolve your organization to meet tomorrow's needs, look for people who will feel at home in a world that I am about to describe. They will be the ones who will continue to make our marketing communications more relevant and generate a meaningful response we all desire around the world. They will live in the cloud, the social, mobile, digital, technological cloud. They will not look at it, poke around it, and cherry pick what they fancy. They will know every aspect of it. They will view the cloud as one of their most cherished possessions. It will be at the heartbeat of much of what you do. With it, they'll be able to create solutions on a real-time basis to adjust to the needs of a fickle consumer. That will be particularly true here in China, where the pace of new category introductions is expected to quicken despite the high cost of creating them. While Chinese consumers readily adapt to new products from fabric softeners to fruit juice, they historically have not been very brand loyal. For now, digital drives engagement, but this will evolve as technology, smart mobile, and solutions create connections much more effectively and efficiently near the time of purchase. Today's Chinese net users spend 41% of their time online on its social marketing sites. Where they engage will change as the country streamlines its mobile platforms and services. Eventually, the whole concept of how we buy products will shift because of the cloud. It already has begun with tablets and near-field communications. What's next is up to the vision and adaptability of those who work within the cloud. I'm going to give you one example of the cloud which I really enjoyed. I'm part of a group called TED. TED brings together innovators from around the world in the technology area. And I was at a conference in Long Beach last year, and what I found fascinating was you had 800 technological CEOs sitting in the room, and the speaker from Israel got on the stage, and he dragged behind him a huge cow, a cow. And he turned to the audience and he said, everybody take out your phone. Tell me how much this cow weighs. I'll give my speech, and when the speech is over, we'll put the cow on a scale. So you have 800 people in the room. gives a speech. Speech is over. He asks for the results. The printout shows that people guessed that the cow weighed between 400 pounds and 3,000 pounds. The average of the 800 people in the room was 1,544 pounds. He put the cow on the scale. The cow weighed 1,543 pounds. So think about taking the power of all the people around you to gain knowledge. An example for me is from our Argentina office. It shows you don't need to live in the cloud to use the power of technology to drive purchase. Both of these examples were Cannes winners.
Interactive film experience. It is a fashion catalogue, a movie, a game, a music video, and the world's first on-demand video retail environment, and then turns into an interactive catalogue. And if you're lucky, the experience crosses over into a reality and the jeans are sent to your home free. At the end, your personal experience is summed up in a bespoke catalogue, so you can revisit the clothes you looked at, shop, share, download music and wallpapers.
This next one I want you to look at is from our office in Argentina, and trust me, nobody's ever done this one before.
Books are very patient objects. We buy them, and then they wait for us to read them. Days, months, even years. That's okay for books, but not for new authors. If people don't read them, the authors never make it to a second book. That's why Eterna Cadencia, an independent publisher and bookstore, decided to create something different, to launch their new authors into the market. The book that can't wait. How's that? We developed a unique kind of ink. An ink that starts to disappear when it comes into contact with light and air. Then we printed an anthology of the best new Latin American authors using this ink to create a new kind of book. A book that lasts only 2 months once you open it. We presented the book that can't wait for the critics and the press. The invention is a success.
Tiene una fecha de vencimiento.
¿Cambia la forma de leer?
Me parece una idea espectacular.
Libro que no puede esperar, así se llama y estamos en línea.
Lo abrís y tenés 2 meses para leerlo.
Se llama El libro que no puede esperar.
Concientizar sobre lo que tiene que ver con la lectura.
Tienen urgencia para ser
Sí,
leídos.
lo que señalan las películas.
We sold out the first edition the very same day we released the books. The best results? We sold the books, but this time we had the guarantee that our new authors were read. Now, we're going to use the book as a platform for other different titles, because there's a lot of literature out there that doesn't deserve to wait on a shelf. And ours won't wait at all.
Okay, now let's talk about something boring, big data. It's not dating, data. As you all know, the world is now filled with tons of millions of pieces of information that allow you to really understand who your consumer are much better than we ever could in the past. Data will allow you to create actionable behavioral information that will allow you to do better targeting in the future than any time in our history. You know, when I first got into the industry, we used to do focus groups on products. We'd get 8 people in the room and we'd show a product and we'd see how they reacted to it. We'd find out whether the brand was correct, the imaging was correct against the consumer audience. Invariably, one person in the room would drive the discussion. But in today's world, because of big data, on a real-time basis, you can gather all the information you need to know on a targeted consumer and what behavioral changes you want that consumer to take because of the availability of segmenting data. I think the best example of big data that you could point to is what happened last Tuesday in the United States with the election of President Obama. President Obama won the election with 5.5 million less votes than the previous time he ran for president. Romney, who ran against him, had 2.5 million less votes than McCain had, who ran for president. However, By micro-targeting and segmenting, Obama was able to go into the communities in which he needed to be in to find the number of people he needed to win the Electoral College. He used data and processing and targeting and going to the street better than any marketer has in the past, which is why he was reelected despite high unemployment in the United States and all the other problems we face. So big data wins elections, big data wins sales. I'm going to show you a new one. Here's a taste of how targeting is evolving through lifestyle for Taco Bell. Volume, please.
Last year, Taco Bell released the Taco Supreme with a shell made of real nacho cheese Doritos in a few cities, none of which were anywhere near the hometown of Nat Christiana. So, Nat drove his friends 965 miles to get it. Well played, Nat. The new Doritos Locos Tacos. Now in Taco Bells everywhere. Sometimes you gotta live más.
You know, we've been the agency for Taco Bell. You know, Taco Bell is yum. KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. And Taco Bell is a huge brand in the United States, and we used the growing Hispanic market to help reposition it, but that really wasn't the messaging. The messaging was, if you never do, you'll never know. The Doritos Locos Taco was launched last spring, and in the first week they sold 10 million tacos. It's the fastest new product introduction in the United States this year. In the first 20 weeks, they sold over 200 million new Doritos Locos Tacos. So it's a look at how you use the evolution of the consumer in the marketplace to reposition the brand. Our USP for Taco Bell before this was taking on McDonald's, think outside the bun. Now it's all about lifestyle and living más, live a little more, and the results have been outstanding. We also used, besides the road trip, we obviously used mobile apps. We used avocados and limes with QR codes to win prizes with Taco Bell. And it's been a huge success. I'd like to move on to a next campaign, which is for our client Dow on a worldwide basis.
One of the world's leading science-based solutions companies launched an idea called solutionism. The belief that together, science and humanity can solve anything. But how do you show the world that we truly can solve anything? A giant problem that needed a giant solution. Presenting Giant Chalkboard, the world's longest, largest, and only human equation. A tribute to scientific and human achievements hidden in math. We assembled a team of mathematicians, scientists, and PhDs to help create an equation so long it took 5 days to write out, containing everything from historic milestones to pop culture, using complex calculus to basic arithmetic, so everyone could contribute to finding the solution.
Well, I haven't actually read the equation. I'm not sure I could. But I think the idea is terrific.
But the 90,000 people who walked by every day was just for starters, because this wasn't just the talk of the town. It was the talk of the web. Using Twitter and Tumblr, we challenged the world to solve the equation and decode the achievements, all 131 of them. With real-time updates of the equation's progress, clues, and nods to correct guesses, participation spread to 5 continents and 94 countries as the equal sign grew closer.
Really caught my eye. It was so interesting, very different. Well, I can't wait to see what it is.
With the eyes of the world on giant chalkboard, the answer was revealed. The sum of all these achievements? 7 billion. The population milestone our planet reached that very week. Proof that together, we can solve anything.
That simple experiment was only $80,000 to produce, and it reached around the world. Create experiences. The agency of the future will allow the marketers and the agencies themselves to allow itself to create experience that help drive the product. We work for 100 of the top 500 companies in the world, but one of the ones we're most excited about is the new Mondelez company, which used to be Kraft. We were able, over a 100-day period of time, to create an ad a day for Oreo. I'd like you to take a look at that now, if I can find this thing. Okay, so that campaign was a new ad every single day, which was relevant either based on that day or history or what was happening in the news. It was developed, put out online, and was seen by hundreds of millions of people. To introduce the JVC camcorder, we went to another format to be successful. You would never think you'd introduce a new technology product like this.
Y así, recibamos con un fuerte aplauso a los alumnos de la promoción 2008.
So when you come, I want to see you and feel your warmth. So when you come, I want to see you and feel your warmth. And you will leave all your stuff and kiss me, love. When I come home, love, love. When you feel lost, I will rescue from the storm. When you feel lost, I will rescue from the storm. And I will take your hand and hold you tight. And you will laugh, laugh, laugh.
So you got to think outside the box. You really got to think outside the theater. But it's really an amazing program. I'm going to speed this up and go through a few key points that I want to leave you with. One, I think I've never said this before to any audience. I think the agency of the future needs one person who can deal with crisis. Because of the new technologies and the way consumers are going to interact with brands, excuse the expression, things are going to go wrong. And when things go wrong because of people, on Twitter or using the web or their social media or mobile applications, invariably we've lost a lot of control with the consumer in our interaction with the brands. So someone at the agency has to be trained in crisis management. I promise you that. So think about that in the future. I think another thing that's going to dominate the world, things to go wrong, is design dominance. The reason I think design will dominate is because of the fact we're going to be working in smaller platforms, whether it's mobile, iPads, etc. So a great agency of the future is going to have great designers that think small platforms and can design things incredibly clean, because consumers need to be able to follow that in a clear way. Can I get a picture of the Amsterdam Starbucks, if you guys still have it up there? Store design is going to change. You all know the design of the Apple stores, how that will be dominant and how brands. Okay, next. There you go. That's the new that's the new Starbucks store and the design of it. So you're going to see design dominance change the world. We also have this for OSIM, one of our clients in Hong Kong.
7 years ago, with the launch of Nike
But this is a
Plus,
new
Nike
campaign
started
by
a journey
RGA,
that's
one of
taken
our
them from being a
agencies
company
for
that
Nike.
makes shoes and apparel to a products and services company. This year, with the launch of Nike Plus Fuel Band, a metric that measures all activity called Nike Fuel, ties all these products and services together into a connected ecosystem. Nike Fuel is the only standard that lets you compare yourself with anyone else, no matter who they are or what they're doing. Nike Fuel Band is the device you wear that tracks everything you do. The LED lights change from red to yellow, and when you hit your goal, green. When you buy a Fuel Band, you automatically become part of the Nike Plus community. When you know how active you are, you can change the way you behave and improve on your goals. Everything you do counts. That became the basis for the campaign introducing Nike Fuel to the world. Creating products and services that become a part of people's everyday lives is the commitment we've seen evolve over 2 years of collaborating with Nike on the Fuel experience. From the Fuel metric itself, to the mobile and platform integration, to social engagements, and ultimately the launch of the Fuel Band.
Nike has this saying, if you have a body, you are an athlete, and now this is finally becoming true.
Okay, that's one of the great product introductions of last year also. Great collaboration between Nike and the agency RGA. And then finally, I'm going to leave you with one fun one, the fastest Christmas card. Okay, we're going to kill all the big creative heads at the big agencies because they're going to have to work in smaller media.
BMW, the fastest Christmas card in the world. The task, to create a Christmas direct mailing for BMW clients. The Christmas card could have looked something like this. But what the clients got from BMW was this, the fastest Christmas card in the world. Apart from Christmas greetings, the mailing explained how the card was created. A QR code and a link led to its making of, so the clients could find out why the card looked a little special. And here it is. The direct mailing for 5,000 Swiss BMW clients went viral. We generated over 45,000 comments in social networks and over 23,000 Christmas card downloads from 106 countries. In short, the new M5 was on the wish list of over 500,000 car enthusiasts.
I was asked to do this speech quickly, so just a quick thanks.